Welcome to Canada Unfiltered, your go-to source for candid discussions about politics. We expose what those in power try to hide. Subscribe now to uncover the true face of power.
Trump's Golden Dome, threat or opportunity for Canada? On April 28, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump unveiled his ambitious project, the Golden Dome, a missile defense system intended to protect the North American continent from ballistic missile attacks. Estimated to cost $175 billion. The project aims to deploy both land-based and space-based detection and interception infrastructure. Canada was quickly mentioned by Trump as a potential partner. Canada has called us. They want to be part of it, he declared. From Ottawa, Prime Minister Mark Carney confirmed that the issue is being discussed as part of broader bilateral talks with the U.S., particularly within the framework of NORAD modernization. However, no firm statement has been made regarding Canada's financial or technological commitment. This ambiguity raises questions about the government's actual intentions. The Golden Dome is partly inspired by Israel's Iron Dome system, designed to intercept short-range rockets. But unlike Iron Dome, the American project aims to neutralize intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, especially those developed by China, Russia, or North Korea. The system would operate in 4 interception phases: before launch, just after launch, in flight, and during the final descent to the target. A satellite constellation would support the ground-based radars and equipment. The project's space-based component makes it a venture of unprecedented technological scope. Canadian experts, such as Richard Shimooka from the Macdonald-Laurier Institute, warn that the project far exceeds current technological capabilities. A 100% interception rate is expected, because one failure could mean a city is destroyed. Shimooka notes that missiles targeted by the Golden Dome can travel over 4,000 kilometers, use suborbital trajectories, and may carry nuclear warheads. By contrast, most of the rockets aimed at Israel travel only a few dozen kilometers. The challenge here is on a completely different scale. Politically, Canada faces a strategic dilemma. Since Paul Martin's 2005 decision to reject participation in the U.S. missile defense program, the geopolitical landscape has changed dramatically. Russia and China are now frequently testing Canadian air and maritime boundaries with aircraft, submarines, and hypersonic weapons. While NORAD allows interception of some threats, such as cruise missiles, Canada remains excluded from key decisions related to ballistic missile defense. This exclusion may prove strategically harmful in the long term. Mark Carney recently announced a $6 billion purchase of an Australian over-the-horizon radar system capable of detecting threats from the Arctic. This system is part of a broader $40 billion NORAD modernization plan. Canada has also reaffirmed its commitment to meet NATO's target of spending 2% of GDP on defense by 2030. Participating in the Golden Dome project could accelerate progress toward this goal while boosting Canada's international diplomatic profile. Still, major uncertainties remain. Trump claims the system will be operational before his term ends in 2029, but experts consider that highly unrealistic. Between budget constraints, technological complexity, and political opposition, a partial rollout by the next decade is far more likely. If Canada joins, what will its role be? Technology provider? Logistics operator? Financial contributor? And what level of control would it have over the system's use? National sovereignty lies at the heart of these questions. Another critical issue is sovereignty. The Golden Dome will be designed and controlled by the U.S. Would Canada lose even more autonomy in defense matters, or could it gain strategic advantages by being involved in every stage of continental security? Choosing between passive and active participation will require a clear national stance. Critics also argue that the existence of such a system could reignite an arms race. Russia or China may perceive it as a direct threat to their deterrence doctrines and develop more sophisticated missiles to bypass or overwhelm the Golden Dome. This dynamic was already observed with Reagan's Star Wars program. Ironically, a defense-first logic may escalate global risk. Additionally, such a massive endeavor could reconfigure global military alliances. Countries allied with the U.S. may be pressured to contribute or align with the project, while adversaries might tighten their own regional security pacts. For Canada, participating might signal a more aggressive geopolitical stance, potentially complicating its traditionally more neutral image in international affairs. Economically, questions about the return on investment also arise. While defense contracts may benefit Canadian companies if local participation is negotiated, the sheer cost may strain federal budgets already stretched by healthcare, climate initiatives, and post-pandemic economic recovery. Public opinion could shift rapidly if the perceived benefits remain unclear or if financial sacrifices become too visible. From a technological perspective, developing or integrating such a system will require unprecedented levels of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and data management. Canada's current military infrastructure might not be ready for such demands without significant upgrades and investments in research and development. Public engagement is another key aspect. As of now, most Canadians are unaware of the full scope of the Golden Dome initiative. This lack of awareness leaves a democratic deficit in decisions of great national consequence. Civil society, academic institutions, and the press must play a more active role in scrutinizing and informing the population about these defense choices. In conclusion, the Golden Dome project presents both an opportunity and a risk for Canada. It could strengthen national security and Canada-U.S. cooperation, but at the cost of a massive financial investment, greater dependency, and uncertain participation in a U.S.-dominated strategy. The key question remains: should Canada focus solely on protecting its territory, or should it commit to a shared continental defense, even if it means sacrificing some independence? As this debate unfolds, it is essential for all Canadians to stay informed, demand transparency, and ensure their voices are heard in shaping the nation's future security policy.
Thank you for taking the time to watch Canada Unfiltered. We truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing and liking our videos. We encourage you to join the conversation with us as we explore various topics that matter to Canadians. Remember, Canada Unfiltered is all about staying informed, reacting to important issues, and speaking up for what you believe in. Let's engage in meaningful discussions together.